this bylaw amendment? No. I think that means we can move to a vote then. No objection. Brilliant. And we'll get the vote popped in the chat. There we are. So we're voting on the bylaw 5 amendment. Just a reminder that bylaws need a 75% majority to pass, not including abstentions. Okay, and that's the bylaw 5 amendment vote up. 26 votes for, 7 against, and 5 abstentions. It needs 75% to pass. I believe it does, but I'll just wait for final confirmation there. It definitely does. But hang over the way. Yeah, it passes. Okay, so bylaw 5 amendment passes. Yeah. Just wanted to double check that was all, because this is shambolic enough already, apparently. So, you know, I'm speaking to Ellie again. Bylaw 6 then, finally. Well, no, because we're going back to bylaw 3. Apologies. The bylaw 6 amendment. So we have to propose for bylaw 6, which I think is Ivana. It is Ivana. We'll go to Ivana. Is your mic on, Ivana?
Yep, I'm unmuted now. So, hello. I propose the motion to include Student Workers Forum within all of the fora, because it has been suggested during the hustings for sabbatical officers that students would like something to represent themselves and their workers' rights. So, yeah, that's basically what this motion is about, to include workers' fora within the section of section fora. And I think it's important to have easier for students to propose motions and combating workers' rights.
Okay, thanks. Any questions or arguments against? Any? Oh, what did I do? David, fix that, please. Thank you. Perfect. Right. Any more questions or speeches against the bylaw 6 amendment? No questions or speeches against. That means we can move to a vote. Ellie will pop the vote, the link to vote in the chat. And remember, that's a 75% majority to pass. So yeah, 75% majority to pass. And the link to vote is in the chat. Yep, so so that's 28 votes for, 7 against, and 3 abstentions. So that bylaw 6th amendment passes as it's hit the 29 votes for, 7 against, and 3 abstentions. So yeah, the bylaw amendment there passes, and then that means we move back up to the bylaw 3 amendment and back to Daniel.
Hello again. Okay, so hopefully you've all got the document. But anyway, yeah. So I'm going to ask for there to be an amendment to this document, but I'll get to that in a moment. So I'll introduce the document first, and then we'll probably go through a series of talking with it, if that's okay with the chair, talking about it, and then we'll actually get to amending it because it's already out of date. So yeah, so there's been a lot of push over the last year to change Bylaw 3. Bylaw 3 is now very out of date. It still makes reference to the Executive Committee, which hasn't been around for over 2 years now. There's been a lot of push to change Bylaw 3, which the changes that have been proposed would mostly change council by quite a lot. It was something that a lot of people weren't comfortable with. It's been voted down a few times now. So I have proposed that we bring forward basically a working compromise, which is that we basically just stick with the current Bylaw 3, at least until a new Bylaw 3 that we can all agree on that does make the changes that people want to make available. But basically this is just a Bylaw 3 as it is currently, but any mention of outdated things or practices that don't occur have been removed. So, for instance, mention of the Executive Committee. Anything to do with the Executive Committee has been taken out completely. It updated the number of fora from 11 to the current 9, but that has just been changed or will change upon the passage of the just passed bylaw by the trustees to 10. So might put in some subjectivity there about amending that. Grammar errors, removing certain titles. Nothing really major. It's just very much the current bylaw, the current practices, the current Bylaw 3 and the practices of the council that we have, but updated to match the current procedures. Okay, so thanks everybody. Matthew, you are muted.
There we are. Thank you. Thanks, Daniel. Any questions or arguments against? Cecilia.
Hello, Cecilia, President. Sorry, but I'm going to ask if I can do a procedural motion to move this to next council. There's some things in this motion that I think is problematic, and I'd like to work with the proposer so we can keep the spirit, but fix it. For example, 6.3.7 that says vacate. That essentially takes away the right of council to call it no confidence votes in the chair. I don't know anywhere place that has that, so I would like to do a procedural motion for this to be amended and moved to the next council and give us time to work with the proposer to keep the spirit, but make sure that we don't have anything problematic in the motion.
Okay, so just to be clear, are you moving that procedural motion on the basis of the same, was it 6.8.3c as last time?
Yes.
Okay, so have we got a seconder? Louise, is that you seconding? And Lisa seconded as well, and Radine. Okay, perfect. Unless they're not seconders and you want to speak. Radine, you want to speak? No. Okay, perfect. Okay, so the vote for that will then be popped into the chat. Yes, please, Ali. Okay, so the results of that procedural motion to move bylaw 3 to the next student council meeting, that's 22 for, 14 against, and 5 abstentions. So that passes and is thus moved to the next student council meeting. Then we move on to any other council business, and I believe we're going to Louise. Cecilia, sorry.
If Louise already submitted something, then Louise can go first.
Yes, Louise already submitted something, sorry, so we'll go to Louise first. On housing, I think. If Louise is there. Louise? Louise may have gone to the toilet, so we'll go to Cecilia first and then hope that Louise comes back.
Okay, well, as the student president, I just really wanted to thank Radin for his time with us, both as a sabbatical, as a forum member, as a student. Today is Radin's last day as a sabbatical. He's found a great opportunity that he'll be moving on for, and I'm really proud of the time together. And I just really wanted to acknowledge all the hard work he's done. It was a joy both working with him as a sabbatical when he was a forum and also studying with him when we were both students.
Brilliant, thanks. And yeah, of course, like I said earlier, good luck to Radin with his new job. Unfortunately, I don't think I've ever met you in person, but from what Cecilia says, I'm sure you'll do really well as well. Well, I thought I saw Louise there, so we'll go back to Louise.
Yeah, sorry. Is that time for the presentation?
Housing.
Yeah, sorry.
Yeah, it's okay.
Just turned off.
Yeah, no worries. What is it you'd like to bring up about the housing?
Yeah, I'll just have a presentation that I'll bring up to make it easier for everyone.
Perfect.
Does that work for people?
It should do. I don't know if David can make you a presenter if you're not already, just in case. But it is working at the moment.
Okay, amazing. So, so I thought that I would give a bit of an update on the housing campaigns, because obviously there's quite a lot of different issues regarding housing. So for today, I thought it would be quite good to give a quick update on what we have achieved with university accommodation and some of the further discussions that we've had and the outcome of those as well, just to present a bit of an update on some of the more recent work that we are doing with RGU Union and NESCO Association regarding purpose-built student accommodation such as Unite or Liberty Living. But most importantly, what I would quite like to get from Student Council is a bit of an idea of what you think the next steps should be, if there are priorities that we should shift, and as well just letting you know some help that we need in terms of moving some of these campaigns along. So, as some of you might know, we initially had discussions with the university to get a rebate from students living in their accommodation from the 25th of January until they are able to come back, which was already like quite a lot of money saved, but we additionally formally requested to the senior management team to backdate those rebates from the 5th of January in line with the legislation, which prevented students from coming back to their accommodation. But unfortunately, they decided against it. We believe that regardless of the financial situation of students, even though like for a lot of people, three additional weeks would be really important, but regardless of that, on principle, the university should not force students to pay for accommodation they're legally not able to use. But unfortunately, the university's response was that to back their decision not to backdate it at the start of January was that students normally do not utilize their accommodation anyway at the start of the term. So that was actually not different from other years, and that when we requested the rebate to be backdated, that it was uncertain how much the rebate would actually cost because they didn't have an end date at the time, and they still hold that decision. Moving on in terms of some of the work relating to the private sector for purpose-built student accommodation. Recently, we've been working with NESCL Association and RGU Union to work on a campaign which has the aim to influence purpose-built student accommodation providers to support their tenants, ensure that students who want to end their tenancy agreement are able to, and as well to make sure that access to housing rights information is easily accessible. That's on the back of hearing quite a lot of anecdotal evidence that purpose-built student accommodation were not supporting students throughout the pandemic and continue not to do it, as well as students coming for individual advice through the advice service that we have, or through the general inbox. But basically what we'd need now to push the campaign further is people who would be willing to share their stories publicly. So Ellie will post in the chat a link for people to fill with any testimonies that they would like to share with us, so we can then use it in public statements to put pressure with PBSA, and as well put more faces to the issues that we've been talking about.
Okay.
Most importantly, what I would like for people kind of to chat about, we will have another survey, but I think we'll open it to anyone who has any comment, is so far we've got, for the university accommodation, we've got quite a lot of refunds already. But on principle, we know that students wanted those 3 additional weeks paid back because, as we said, on principle, people should not have to pay for something they're legally not able to use. But as a lot of has changed, we just wanted to have a sort of sense check to see if there is any other pressing issues that we should be looking at or focusing on regarding housing, and if there are any other things that you think would be important to put our energy on. So I'll open it if anyone has questions, but Ellie also have going to post a link in the chat if someone wants to put it without speaking during the council.
Yeah, so any questions? Anything else you want to say, Louise? No, I'm good. Okay, brilliant. Thank you so much for that. Like Louise said, there's 2 links in the chat there as well that Ellie's posted. Has anyone got any other business for council? Anything they wish to raise now before we end? Raise your hands if you do. No. Okay, well, thank you very much, everyone, for coming to Student Council this month. Good luck with exams and assessments and stuff for the end of the year. Good luck again to Dean with his new job as well. And we'll see you in May for council as well. And make sure you vote. That was the other thing. Make sure you vote in the standing committee elections. Information is on the ALSA website, and make sure you share that as well so we get the highest possible turnout. So thanks again for turning up. Any questions? sa.chair@abdn.ac.uk. As well, the senior governor election as well. Vote in that. I think votes open next week. Cecilia said like 3rd of May or something. So yes, make sure you check out that. That'll be on the Aberdeen University website as well. So yeah, stay safe and get in touch if you need anything. Thank you very much. Wasn't a shambles.